Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. I got MG here. I got my boy Mitch here. We're gonna talk about Daredevil season 3. Of course, it's gonna be spoilers. We had to kind of find a date where we can actually do the video. I think I finished the season 3 around Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But we're gonna kind of get into everything, well, most of what happened that we remember, and where we rank this, not only amongst the Daredevil seasons, but also all the other Netflix series and their seasons. First off, I could say it's definitely one of the best, in my personal opinion. Fisk, he was probably better in this season than he was in season 1. He did a really good job. Also, Charlie Cox is Daredevil. I keep saying it. He's one of those guys who doesn't get talked about as, when we bring up actors or actresses who portraying these superhero characters. He's never a guy that gets brought up. He should be. He should be a guy that gets talked about. We always talk about like the movie characters. We should talk about some of these TV shows because the portrayal of the Daredevil character is spot on. And the storyline they used was they used like the Born Again storyline. They used another one. I can't even remember what it was, but they used another storyline, kind of mixed them in there together to because he was having conflict with his religion, and he didn't believe what he was doing as Daredevil in the first 2 seasons and Defenders was working. So he still stayed true to some of his morals, but for the most part he kind of gave up on his religion. So you had that fight, and overall the season flowed well. I thought Foggy was great. Nadeem was great. Karen, I still don't care much for her. I don't know about you guys, but I still don't care much for Karen. She was like crying the whole season. Like, come on, you seen like you were there with the Punisher. You saw he was gutting guys, and you weren't even that emotionally broken. You saw what Fisk could do. You saw you was in there with all the Defenders crap, and you still weren't like that. And this season you're just crying in just about every episode. So I don't know. I still don't like that character, but I think everyone else, really aside from her, was great. They were really good. The guy who I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy that played Bullseye, they had episodes really focused on him, and kind of like his mental instability. Great episodes. I think it was around like episode 5 or 6. They really focused on him, and kind of like he had like abandonment issues or whatever.
Wilson Bethel, that's the actor's name.
Okay, he was great. I thought he did a really good job, and they really went into one of Daredevil's big villains, and all the stuff, things he could do in the comics. He kind of he was throwing shit off the walls. It's straight out of a comic. Their fight in the probably one of the better fights was like their fight in the office, and the office building was great because Daredevil's first time even facing someone that can do stuff like that. And I would say Daredevil's fight in the prison earlier in the series, around like episode 4 or something like that. That episode was great. My problem with the season was I thought they should have went more into kind of his fight with his religion, and I wanted to see the black suit to kind of show that he's definitely changed. He's no longer that Daredevil. He's more like kind of cold. They didn't really go full on with that, just because he still wasn't at that point where he was almost willing to kill someone. He got to that point by the end of the season, mainly with Fisk, because Fisk, for all the crap he's done, he did want to kill him. But I think they should have went more into that. Also, Karen living. I thought they should have went with more so from the books and killed her character off, because she's a character that's been around, and then kept Nadim around because he was a new character. He was better than Karen in the season. And Karen, I think, will have people got more of an emotional attachment to her, so killing her off would have been big. Also, her effect, the effect of her death on Daredevil, how would that would, I think, would have worked a lot better as you go on into if they come out with another season, which they better. And I don't know, you probably could do something darker than what they did at the end of the season. I think that's probably my only gripe. For the most part, the season was mostly perfect in terms of storytelling, pace, choreography, all that, camera work, all that was great. Acting. What do you guys think about it?
Well, I said on Twitter, I made the bold statement that Daredevil Season 3 is, in my opinion, arguably the best thing that the superhero genre has ever produced. And I'm going to stick by this opinion. I think everything about the season is top tier, from the directing, camera work, to the mood of the entire season, to the drama. I think is probably the best superhero drama we've seen. Then you have the action, which is phenomenal. Like, after a few of the fights, you're like, okay, they can't do any better than this, or they can't do any more than this, and then it just keeps going. Like, almost every episode has an epic fight scene, and the action is phenomenal, and that's part of what Daredevil is known for, and they up that. And I just feel overall, like, from season 1 to season 2 to season 3, they just upped their game in almost every level, from the acting to the characters to like everything. You just feel like the emotion through all the characters. They're all very vulnerable. You care for all of them. I know you said you don't really care for Karen, which is understandable. I think that she was probably my least favorite character, but that's not for me to say I didn't enjoy her in this season. I think that one episode where it was centered around her really did a lot for her character, in my opinion. And then, other than that, I mean, Matt Murdock, like Charlie Cox, this guy's got to be considered one of the best actors right now. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care that he has a Netflix show. He is one of the best actors there is out there. The guy that plays Wilson Fisk, phenomenal, great. Those two and their chemistry is great. And even though they're not even on the screen together, it just seems like you have two guys in one series. Usually it's very rare that this happens in one show, but you have two guys in one show that steal every single scene that they're in. So when they're on the screen together, it just makes it that much more like magical. The new villain added with Bullseye was great, and the way that they went through his character and what he added to it was awesome, because it gave sort of a psychological element with Wilson Fisk, but then also a physical element as well to Daredevil. I like the struggle at the beginning. I like the flashbacks to every character. There's nothing that I didn't really like in this series, and I think basically anything that I didn't like would just be like personal nitpicks about the season. Nothing that they made a creative choice on can I say was a bad choice. So overall, this season was spectacular. I loved it.
Overall, it was a great season. I got it ranked up there with one of the better seasons for all of the Marvel shows. I thought Charlie Cox was great as Daredevil, obviously. Matt Murdock. I can never pronounce his last name, but the guy who plays Wilson Fisk, he is absolutely amazing as Fisk. And me and Calvin discovered this a couple weeks ago because I had no idea it was him, but that's the guy off of, what was it, Law and Order?
Yep.
I had no idea. But it works. He's actually really active on Twitter too, but really good actor. And we found out he's really got the freedom to he's had the freedom to kind of come up with Fisk's character, his cadence, the way he talks, because he's got a really unique way of talking, which works great with the character. He's had the freedom to kind of come up with that himself, and kind of the way he talks and handles himself. So that freedom's added to the show in a great way. I thought Foggy. I think a lot of people are skipping over Foggy and how great of a season he had as a character in the acting.
For sure.
By his actor. He was probably one of my favorite things about the season, not named Fisk or Daredevil. Bullseye, I like what they did with Bullseye. They changed his origin story a little bit from the comics, which is fine, because it was still good. So I definitely liked the direction they went with that. Karen, she got to go. She's got to go. She's in Felicity tier for me.
Oh, like, come on.
Hold on,
Felicity's the greatest villain of all time.
She's Felicity tier for me.
Oh no, bro. I can't say that. I literally stopped watching Arrow because of Felicity.
As Wilson Fisk would say, that could be problematic.
Do you know how much of a struggle it was for me to get through the Karen origin story episode?
I love that.
Oh my God, I hate it. Oh, I hate her. Her and Trish from fucking Jessica Jones. Like, all three of them together, they gotta go. Just kill them off. I'm done with them. I don't want to see them. Like, I just can't with them. They're always crying. I love the
Jessica Jones reference in the last episode.
Jessica Jones got to go too, but that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, Karen, she got to go. I will say, and this is why I mentioned this in the group DM between us, that the writers must be an anime fan, especially Naruto, because they pulled one over everybody's head. Because anytime in anime, when somebody's about to die, they do a whole episode of their origins, telling this sad story to get you emotionally invested for when they're about to die.
Yeah, so honestly, I thought that was coming too.
I was hoping so. I was like, yes, we're finally getting it. She's gonna die.
But it was good that they pulled the swerve, though.
No, that's one time I didn't want to be swerved. That's one time I didn't want to be swerved. I just wanted that happy moment where Karen dies like she did in the comics.
I will say though, they killed the priest. And they killed Nadim, so I think those were two pretty big deaths.
They killed Nadim in replacement for not killing Karen. I'm convinced of this. And I'm not happy with that choice. I'd much rather have Nadim around going forward than Karen.
What did you guys think of the added element of the whole, like, mother thing?
That wasn't added. I mean, that's still happened in the comics.
Yeah, I mean, once
to the season. Like, I felt like it didn't really need to be there, but, like, it was a pretty compelling part of the story.
That's the story they were telling from the comics. So
it adds more to his emotional stress in the season because he was dealing with a lot. You know, conflicts with his faith. Then they come to find out his mother was a person that was there the whole time that he didn't even know. You know, it's very similar to some what happened in the book, and
almost exactly.
Yeah, and it was just
except he didn't. Except, I think in the comics he knew who his mother was, but she was just away.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. She
it wasn't
just randomly. He thought she was like dead or whatever. She like randomly shows up.
Yeah. So, but I thought the actress who played her was really good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was really good. Killing the priest, I didn't like that. Because I always felt like he's kind of been that leveling
yeah,
for Matt.
That's why I'm kind of wondering who's going to take that role next.
And so I didn't, and that kind of plays into my bigger issue with everything here is that they never truly explored him having issues with his religion. They
did a little bit. They did enough for me.
But for me, it's like, okay, if you're a super religious person like he is, and you literally just saw people coming back to life, people dying around you left and right, no matter what you do, nothing ever ends the right way. Like, you would think that something like that, especially somebody who was as devout of a religious person as he was, like, his whole entire life would be shaken to pieces.
I feel like they did explore that, though. Maybe they didn't come right out and say it.
He said a couple of things during the season, like, God, you save you, I did, right? Like, he threw that in there, but he didn't really look like a man who really lost his way. He just looked angry. If that makes sense.
I wanted to explore more of like, because he goes through it with Fisk, but I wanted him to like get to a point where he pretty much almost kills a dude.
He never got to that real point.
Got to that point where he almost like kills a dude.
He was angry, but he was never like overly aggressive, like outside of the usual. Like there really wasn't like a
him go like
change.
Full Christopher Nolan Batman.
No, I didn't want him to I wanted him to beat someone always to death.
I wanted him to like really like take a criminal and like really beat him down, like, you know, to almost to the point of death. Like that's, and you know, and then you have something that causes him to stop, like the cops or something like that, whatever. But they never truly, the point that his character was supposed to be at, he was supposed to be walking a fine line, but I don't feel like he was walking the line. I feel like he was just below the line. Right, where you got you got going over the line, which would have been full on killing. You got under the line, which is him still kind of keeping his ways, and then you got walking the line, which is beating people close to death. He was right under the line. Like he didn't cross over it, he didn't walk it, he was still under it, and I felt like they shortchanged themselves with that in terms of character development for him. And this is another reason why I thought Karen should have died as well. Not just because I hate her character, which I do think she should have died anyways, and she died in the comics. In the comics is when she died. Bullseye kills her. But I feel like if you would have killed her off earlier in the season, maybe like episode 5 or 6, you really could have had Matt questioning everything. I
also think that Nadeem does that though.
Nah, not
by Nadeem dying, he's gonna think like he failed in a way.
But he didn't protect him. I don't think he knows him enough, though. He doesn't.
Yeah, he was already talking about killing Fisk before the Nadeem thing. Now, Foggy convinced him not to do it because, you know, we're gonna try to do this the legal way, and if it don't work, we'll do it your way type deal. And that's why he kind of pulled back for that brief moment. But he was already thinking about killing Fisk, anyways.
Yeah, he was.
I just don't think so I think him going over the edge wasn't really, we didn't see it. You know, I think if Karen would have died, I think that would have been the thing that would have broken him in terms of those ties to his religion and kind of to his ethics. Because that's the kind of story that you're trying to tell. I mean, he just lost the love of his life. Like I said, he just seen people coming back to life, getting reincarnated and shit. Like that should shatter his entire universe. So, and another thing, there weren't really many consequences during this season for characters.
2 people died.
They're not important people, though.
Yeah, they are.
Nadeem isn't an important person in the long run. He's not an original comic character. Like the pastor, okay, I'll give you the pastor, but like there weren't really like grave circumstances. Like Fisk, okay, he's back in jail. Like, okay. You know, Bullseye. He'll have a new spine.
And I think that it showed like part of it. I think was that they basically are now done with like trying to do things the legal way in that regard. Like I think they lost all hope in that. I think there was consequences for every character in a way. I think Foggy, there's consequences to him. There's consequences to Karen. I feel like there was consequences to every character.
Not really. I mean, Foggy could have still ended the season at his high-paying lawyer gig. He didn't start the season as, you know, a DA candidate. That was just kind of a thing to kind of go at Fisk. So he really didn't lose anything in that sense. His family still keeps their restaurant. Like he didn't really lose anything. He still has his girl. Like he didn't lose.
They didn't really lose anything, but they grew from point A to point B.
Story this deep, some people have to lose something for a story this deep.
There were like consequence for like Nadeem. His choice to get the information about Fisk to kind of which locked him back up, got him killed.
Central character.
He's not. He was central to the season though.
To the season, yes, but he's not a central character.
That's why. That's why I thought if you're gonna kill him, he should have probably survived this season. Probably, let's say you kill him next season. I thought he should have been a character.
But it might have not meant as more if they would have killed him next season.
Maybe it depends on the storyline you give.
Yeah, it depends on the story. But Fisk, he's back in jail, right? But okay.
You knew they
Bullseye.
weren't gonna kill those two off. I had a feeling they weren't gonna kill those two off.
Of course not.
I thought that they might have killed Vanessa.
I thought Bullseye was gonna go do it.
Yeah,
that's what I thought
that would have been great. Because you
that
know what?
should've
That's another issue I had with down the season. At the end, she turned Fisk into a punk, and I did not like.
Well, that was the whole point of it, though.
He has a big soft spot for her.
The whole point of it is that his one weakness is Vanessa.
It is, but to a degree, he still held himself he still carried himself in a certain way. And
that's because she wasn't there in person, though.
That moment when he let her inside of the organization, like all the inner workings, everything changed. He was letting her make the decisions. Like,
yeah, but I think that's where the disconnect between me and you is. I think that's what they were trying to go for.
I didn't like it.
I thought they should have killed her off to kind of put him over the deep end.
Yeah.
Like
I thought they probably were going to, but I was kind of surprised that they didn't.
Yeah, I thought that would have been pretty.
But her calling the shots and Fisk, I didn't like that at all.
Especially
not for such an iconic villain who's notoriously not really he can have a love interest. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But for a villain who is notoriously savage, I didn't like that. Like, she's calling the shots. He would never give anybody the right to call any shots. It's not who he is.
And the way he engineered events in this season was master strategist.
That was brilliant.
The way he set up, he pretty much set up getting shanked.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did
I
that
didn't see that coming at all.
Me neither. The way he set that up so he could go into FBI custody. Then he had blackmailed every single agent that was there, to where he pretty much had them working. That to me was what he was definitely my favorite character in it, because
it made him so powerful at a certain point.
Yeah, because
which I really liked.
It felt like he controlled everything. There's nothing he couldn't control.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the.
So what's the chances that they do a Sinister Six and all along it's Wilson Fisk pulling the strings?
He's pulled the strings of a lot of things.
I don't know. If Vanessa's not around, he won't do it.
That could be problematic.
Yeah. I don't like that part of what they've done with Fisk. Gosh.
But other than that, season.
I didn't like the ending fight either.
I think we're really nitpicking here.
No, I'm not. I didn't like the ending fight either.
I thought the ending fight was cool.
It was anticlimactic to me.
I don't think it was the best fight.
They fought for 2 seconds and it was over. And not just that, but for the moment it's supposed to be, you're talking about Daredevil, Bullseye, and Kingpin. This isn't Daredevil versus 2 street thugs. This is Bullseye and Kingpin, and all 3 of them are trying to kill each other. This should be a longer fight than 2 seconds.
But I don't know. Is that how long the actual fight would last?
In that scenario, probably 3 of them. All 3 of them with different specialties. I thought they shortchanged themselves on that.
It'd be like a Goldberg match.
And then Matt all of a sudden believing in religion 2 seconds later, the next day is just kind of ridiculous to me. Bro, you just
I don't
an entire you just spent an entire season talking about it, and they didn't necessarily dive. And this is where my thing with the whole they didn't dive into it enough comes in. They didn't dive into it that much. If he just was able to next day turn back and say, "Yep, I'm a religious man again," what?
Yeah.
Somebody who's broken doesn't do that. It takes time to recover, and you didn't get that.
I don't know though, because I think he kind of learned throughout, because they were trying to sell to the point where he was sort of broken, and then he was on the path to killing Fisk, but then he realized at the end that he shouldn't, which I think just kind of turned him back into the person he thinks he needs to be.
He never changed.
He was changed at the beginning.
Nah. What did he do different that he wouldn't have done before?
I don't know. He freaked out a few times.
He's
Wasn't
always
really
freaked out though. That's been his thing. That's why Karen and Foggy. That's why their relationship is the way it is. This is how every season goes. They get into their thing because they don't want Matt doing what he does, or they don't like how he does it, and then by the end of the season, they're all happy together again. This is how everything starts and ends with Daredevil. Like nothing changed for him as a character. He said a couple of things that were different, like the whole God didn't save you, I did line, but nothing changed. Outside of that brief moment where he thought about killing Fisk at the end, like nothing changed for him.
Yeah, because early in the season, they did the whole thing was like he was pretty much like sulking just because his senses didn't work right. He couldn't hear out like his left ear or something like that. Of course, he couldn't walk right and everything. So they kind of went and they kind of did that earlier, but that was the moment where he, like you could say, where he started to question it, but you never saw him like actual fight anyone, but just because he couldn't. And I thought that's something they should have did a little bit later, was have him be a little bit more cold towards
I think
random guy or whatever.
This was just more about the regrowth of the character, I feel like, because like he was broken in the season or in the first episode.
But
and he kind of made his way back.
Where, though, if he never changed, like he's still the same he didn't grow either. He's still the same character he was the first 2 seasons.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, he's still a good character. I'm not saying he's not a bad character. I was just saying, like, what changed? Like, nothing changed.
He was angry at everyone.
He's always angry at everyone.
I don't know about that.
That's his thing. He's always angry at everyone.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. He's still. I don't know. He's still like. I mean, obviously, because Foggy was his friend, and
he's always pushed them away. Like that's nothing.
Yeah, that was something he still did, because like when Foggy first saw him again, after thinking he was dead, he saw him. It was in the bar, and Matt was kind of cold, but he was still more so of the way of don't get involved. I'll handle it type deal. Tell Karen don't get involved. Don't mess with Fisk or anything like that. I'll deal with it.
He always pushes them away. Then he asks them for help. Like.
So,
I just don't think they did much for his character growth this season. I think they did. I think they took a huge step forward with Foggy, with Kingpin. Bullseye was great in terms of character development. Karen's got to die. Matt Murdock, though, there's really no change. And at the end of the season, he's back to being a lawyer, just a happy lawyer with their new firm they're about to do. Like nothing changed.
Yeah, I thought it should.
He didn't really.
I thought it should have
He
been
didn't
like
really have any near-death circumstances in this season. Like
he was beat to shit
hurt.
like multiple times.
Yeah. But he didn't really have any like near-death circumstances with like possible grave consequences. Like nobody really did. Karen was never in any real danger outside of at the church. Foggy was.
That whole episode was devoted to her almost dying.
That was in her past, though. Like most of that in terms of her past. I'm talking
No,
about. Like,
I mean the church one.
Yeah, that's
the
what
one
I
in
said.
the
Outside
church,
of that,
the whole episode was about her.
That's the only episode.
Oh,
That's
the Office one. The Office one. Because
no, he was never going there to kill her. He never wanted to kill her in the office. They mentioned that. That wasn't the plan.
And that was before she kind of talked shit to Fisk.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't even there to kill Foggy. That's why he just punched Foggy out. Like he was literally just there to kill the witness. That's it.
One of the elements I really liked was just the desperation from all the characters.
Yeah, because Fisk seemed.
It made it a lot more.
He had everybody pretty much in his pocket.
Mm-hmm. It made it more believable. Yeah. To me, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Nothing really surprised me in this season outside of Karen not dying. So
I think the what was the part I say? Nadeem dying was a surprise to me.
Well, once I see Karen didn't die, I knew he was gonna die. I kind of just
possibly
put 2 and 2 together there.
Mm-hmm.
They sacrificed people for Karen's sake, which I hated.
Here we go.
This is the equivalent of Wild Dog dying to save Felicity's life.
Oh man,
I just can't accept it.
I don't know, bro. I can't put it in Felicity territory.
Not even close.
Because I can continue to watch Daredevil even though she's in it. She's annoying. I'll give you that.
Felicity, you still watch Arrow? Felicity's in it.
Shit. I watched the premiere, but I stopped watching it because of Felicity. I don't think Karen's got to that point.
They've dialed back on Felicity though the last 2 years. They're not stupid.
Yeah. But,
Karen ain't going nowhere.
No, she's not. Then the seasons are shorter and more. It's more story focused. You don't have these filler big time filler episodes like those shows like Arrow or whatever. So I think by having it like that, it's easier to watch, not only because it's not as long, but it's also it's no fillers. You're going straight through the story. You're going through all your character moments. No just random job that they're doing. It's all part of the story.
She brings nothing to the table outside of tears.
That I didn't get, just because of all the stuff she was there with Punisher, and Punisher was murdering dudes.
I hated her in Punisher.
Like, I'm just saying,
all she did in that was cry.
You think she'd get to a point where she kind of like, okay, she's kind of apathetic to just what's going on. You saw Punisher, you saw what he could do. He was a cold-blooded killer. You should
the
be at the
reason why
point
it's
of apathy.
worse is because they've completely changed her story from the comics to what really happens to her.
I'm surprised by that because I figured Netflix would go that route.
At least in the comics, it was to the extreme. Like she was broken. She became a prostitute, started doing drugs, drinking. She's the one who told Kingpin Daredevil's true identity.
She didn't have to do that, but I thought
it was pretty deep. So
I thought she should have at least got to the point.
And she did it for a little money too. Like it wasn't even like it was a lot of money she did it for. It was a little money. But
what did you guys think? Like, I think this was the most well-paced season for sure, and like I felt like every story like progressed really well. Like none of them had like a gap or like fell off. I felt like all the side stories like came together, and all like the main storyline, I felt like it was just really well paced. Well, I felt like in season 2 there was a little bit of a drop off, and other seasons I would say season 1 was pretty consistent, but like season 2 I feel like was kind of a drop off there at a certain point near the end.
Punisher went away in season 2. That's where the drop off happened.
Yeah. And then in a couple of the other series, but I felt like this was just really well paced, and it felt like it was going.
Season 2 of Cage was paced better.
I don't know. I felt like there
wasn't
a
single episode for me in Luke Cage that I didn't enjoy. I hated the Karen episode.
I think with the difference for me between Luke Cage and Daredevil is just the drama and the writing. I think is better in Daredevil. The
writing is slightly better.
I just don't believe in the Luke Cage drama quite as much as I do with the Daredevil. Maybe.
I would say Luke Cage. Luke Cage is a series where you could say supporting characters are up there.
Well, season 1 was kind of season 2 though I thought was amazing.
Like we were talking about supporting characters for Luke Cage in comparison to like it's definitely right there with Daredevil. And I don't think there's a character that's that Karen character in Luke Cage. So I'll definitely give you that because like I said, Karen's kind of annoying.
I don't know why you guys hate Karen so much.
She's trash.
She's not terrible, but
yes, she is.
But
I didn't like
she's
her.
She's annoying.
She can be at times.
All the time. All she does is cry.
She was crying the whole season.
She's not Flash from Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Of course not.
She don't gotta be a Cold Stone Killer, but like all she does is cry. Iris don't cry that much.
You kind of expect her to kind of like after all the shit she's seen, like to kind of toughen up a little bit.
Iris don't cry that much, and she watches her boyfriend get beat up. Like, why is Karen crying so much?
Because she's the one fucking everything up. Like the
Karen's
whole
not messing
season was like
up.
Karen messing the whole thing up. Karen kills her brother. Karen tells Fisk. Karen does this. Karen does that.
Yeah, but none of it would have made a difference in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he really wasn't trying to kill her in the first place. He was only trying to kill her after he found out about Wesley. So,
All right, give me your top 3 rankings. I'll tell you, like mine's have definitely changed. I can tell you.
For the Marvel series?
Yeah, for Netflix, just the top 3, because I know, yeah, so one of y'all fit season 3 in there somewhere.
yeah, I got Daredevil season 2 at 1, Luke Cage season 2 at 2, season 3 of Daredevil at 3, and then 4 Daredevil season 1.
I think I have Daredevil season 3 first, Daredevil season 1 second, and Jessica Jones season 1 third.
Daredevil
I can
season
make a concrete argument.
Daredevil season 1 is number 1. I mean Daredevil season 2. I'm sorry. Then it's Daredevil season 3. Then Daredevil season 1. Then Luke Cage season 2.
Was there any real flaws with Luke Cage season 2?
Not really.
I had flaws.
And it had the best ending out of any of the Marvel series so far.
Yeah, because
Easily the best ending.
Because he was at that line of being a bad guy now. And I thought they should have went something similar to like that with Daredevil.
I'm surprised
I still
that
think they
didn't
should
get
have
picked up.
It was a bunch. I think it was like
It was a
issues.
creative thing.
Yeah, it was a creative writers and Netflix and Marvel.
Like I saw Iron Fist coming, but like Luke Cage didn't really.
I didn't see the Iron Fist one coming either because the second season was so much more liked than the first season.
I just think that a lot of people didn't really watch it because the season 1 was so bad.
I know people watch Luke Cage, so definitely viewership was not a problem with Luke Cage. It's just creative differences, and hopefully it doesn't happen for Daredevil.
I don't. It's too popular.
I don't know. Luke Cage, when season 1 came off of Luke Cage, Netflix.
Daredevil is like the top 5 like Netflix property. It's like one of the first Netflix properties that like made Netflix like Netflix.
Yeah.
I remember when season 1 came out, like everybody was talking about Daredevil. It might not be the same now, but it's up there.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people still talk about it. But like Luke Cage, when that came out, Netflix was crashing. They couldn't even open up Netflix that day, or at least for a few hours when that first came out. It was crazy. I've never seen a show
Daredevil's
like
the
that.
Iron Man of Netflix. Luke Cage would be the Black Panther, and I'm not just saying that because he's black, but it came out of nowhere.
That's probably that's probably why.
He's not Ant-Man?
Hell no. Ant-Man would be some shit they haven't put on there yet.
It's not even comparable.
The chick from Jessica
Even though
Jones.
I like Ant-Man.
If they make a series with the chick from Jessica Jones, Trish or whatever.
Anything
That's
Jessica
Ant-Man.
Jones related is
Trish
trash.
talk for a whole season.
Oh,
If Kilgrave ain't involved, Jessica Jones as a whole is trash.
Isn't that film? That's filming right now, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
What, Jessica Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't know how he didn't get shit canned after that last season.
I'm skipping season 3. I couldn't even sit through 2. Like, I'm not happening for me.
Because it's probably gonna still come out in March. You know, hopefully we get something with Punisher because they haven't gotten canceled. They're probably
Punisher's probably next.
Yeah, it's probably next. We'll probably get a trailer hopefully before the end of the year. I don't think it's coming out this year.
I hope they do Defenders though, or something in that nature.
Jessica Jones.
I hope they do just because of what happened. You know, what happened with.
Yeah, hopefully they can bring back Luke Cage and Iron Fist just for that.
Just make Heroes for Hire, man. That way you can put both of them in it. That way you can put both of them in there. You know, yeah, their series got canceled, but they didn't say this one wouldn't get made. Daughters of the Dragon is still one they still been talking about, but have said nothing other than just rumors about it.
They can't do Daughters of the Dragon without explaining the ending for Iron Fist. The ending for Iron Fist season 2, though, like you gotta have to explain that. The last time people saw Colleen, she had the Iron Fist. Like if she shows up in Daughters of the Dragon, they gotta explain how she got it because it's gonna be a lot of new viewers to the show.
That's true. You can do a brief. I mean, you can have her mention it.
Or if she shows up without it, the people who did watch Iron Fist are gonna be like,
she can't show
Iron Fist
she can't show it without it. She
yeah, so they gotta do something to explain it.
Well, she can kind of, she kind of, I guess, explain it to someone when they first see her. Like, oh, how the hell did you get this? And then she kind of explains it to them. I mean, that could possibly work.
And then they also have to explain Misty. Like, Misty, you're a cop, and you literally are watching Luke Cage as the underground kingpin right now of Harlem.
Yeah, she mentioned him.
Not
like
even
once.
interacting with it. Like, what?
Yeah, she did. She mentioned him like a few times in the Iron Fist season 2. But I said, I get why kind of that was canceled, just because the character himself kind of got a bad rep.
It's a movie character. It shouldn't be on TV.
Yeah, he got a bad rep. He got bad rep from the first season of Iron Fist. Then he got that from the Defenders. People didn't like him in Defenders. It was kind of why like people were kind of low on Defenders, even though I thought Defenders was great. And then kind of it went into season 2, which I don't like what I don't mind him. I just don't like what they did with the character, because it was more of a Colleen push than
they're telling his story.
A Danny Rand push. And
yeah.
it was your opportunity to kind of, okay, we're gonna make him this likable character, and I think they dropped the ball on that.
I think they kind of screwed up his timeline with them trying to work towards the Defenders show.
Yeah.
Where if it was a standalone series without incorporating the Defenders, I think the point that you were at the end of season 2 should have been the end point for season 1 of Iron Fist, with the big Davos fight, all of the stuff that happened. Like, you kind of cut out a lot of the other stuff that people don't care about. And I think this point at the end of season 1 should have been the Davos fight, possibly him losing the Iron Fist, and then season 2 is when you go into the Orson Randall stuff.
Yeah,
there it is.
And the Luke Cage thing was just a complete fuck up. There's just no other way of looking at it. To cancel that, like, and how popular it was, and what we saw from the ending, we was gonna get something. We was gonna get him almost like a semi-crime boss who thought he was doing the right thing. Most villains feel as though they're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
like, you look at a lot of the villains' motivations, they feel as though, okay, I'm doing this to help the people, but you're actually hurting people. And he was at that point, and that's what they were going to lead into season 3. And I thought that would have been great. But now,
you would have went into season 2 before watching it, and I would have told you that, yeah, at the end of the season, Luke Cage is going to be the underground kingpin of Harlem, and Mariah was going to get killed by her daughter, and her daughter was going to try to take her place. And Bushmaster, arguably one of Luke Cage's big 2 villains, is really not even a real villain. He's really an anti-hero trying to get revenge. You would have been like, get the fuck out of here. Right? Like, it was unpredictable.
So, to kind of go back to Daredevil, what do you guys rate, scale of 1 to 10, season 3?
I'd probably go, I think I gave season 2 of Daredevil like 9.75. I probably would give Cage a 9. Cage 2, 9.5-ish, and then I'd probably go season 3 for Daredevil, 9.25-ish.
Well, like a 9.5.
I'm gonna say like a 9.75.
Yeah, it's
something like that.
The season
You're talking about points here. It's 9 somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. It's not a 10. I don't think anything's a 10.
Nah,
it's like a 9.75.
I didn't even get. I ain't getting any of the series. Like the highest I went was like 9.5.
If Karen would have died, if Karen died, I would have bumped my rating up to a 9.75.
You would have gave it a 10. Don't lie. You would have gave it a 10. You're like, yes.
And if they didn't have that entire episode, like, I got to take away points for that. Like, there's an entire episode I didn't want to watch. I can't say that about the others. Yeah.
The episode she dies, you probably, I don't know, Jessica Jones season 2. Pretty much the whole season.
Well, outside it, I'm talking about like out of the Daredevil and Luke Cage series. Like there was an entire episode of this season that I did not want to watch. Like the minute they start doing the flashbacks, I just knew. I was like, oh, this is where we're going with this.
It was called Karen.
Yeah, but I didn't.
He was reluctant to hit play when he saw it.
I really was. Like I don't like that. I don't like that character and how they portrayed her, and she's annoying. Really annoying to me.
All right.
Like, crying damsel in distress, not my thing. I don't. I hate Lois Lane, so this shouldn't surprise anybody.
I mean, that's not really supposed to be Lois Lane's character. But...
I hate the Lois Lane character as a whole. Not a fan of the damsel in distress shit. Like, it's just, especially not when it's overdone like Karen is.
I mean, I thought they were kind of gonna go like you said with the Naruto thing, where they show the backstory and then they kill the character off. I thought they were gonna do that because I don't know. I thought it'd been like a different ending. I thought it had more of a darker ending or something.
Yeah. Like, I just can't with Karen. Like, at least I got to see Felicity actually try to fight somebody, even though she lost. At least she tried, and at least I got to see Iris have a sword fight last season. The Thinker storyline, but like,
I don't know, bro. That was garbage.
Karen, look. At least she fought though. Like, at least she ain't just hiding in the corner crying.
I thought. I wanted to see him go like leader of the hand for the next season. I don't think that's necessarily gonna happen. But I did want to see him. I wanted to see the black suit. I mean, maybe that's the comic guy in me. I don't take points off from the series because like those things didn't happen. But I thought it would even make the season, that ending, even better. Just because.
Oh, if Karen don't die, if Bullseye don't kill Karen in the next season, I'm definitely giving that season a 2.
Because the way these Netflix
are they gonna have Bullseye as the main villain next season?
He's gonna be in some. He's gonna be in there somewhere.
Yeah, he's
maybe not the main
being
villain
there for the next season in some capacity. So
yeah, and because the way these Netflix series went, at least the ones that were good, these characters don't have like a lot of times happy endings. They don't have like a really good life. You know, they do things because they feel as though they have to, but things still go to shit. You know,
which I think makes it
more believable. You know, and I thought I personally thought the ending should have been. I would have liked a different ending, but I'm not mad about the ending just because what led up to the ending was so good that what do you really complain about? But I thought I would have liked it more if they would have went with kind of like, okay, a darker ending, you know. But I'm not gonna take points off because they don't have it, just because of it was the story and pacing was so good that it made it that much. It made it that enjoyable. Yeah. But anything else y'all wanted to add?
Not really.
Okay. You go ahead and plug your stuff.
All right. For me, I'm on YouTube, The Bottom Line View, NFL channel. If you're an NFL fan, go subscribe. On Twitter, you can follow me at Mitch Milani. Tweet about football, sports, entertainment, that sort of stuff.
on Twitter, you can find me at Virtuoso Sports during the week, BlissSportsNetwork.com, and also my secret Reddit account, Kill Karen Page.
I thought that would have been your Twitter handle. I hate Karen.
No, that's his burner account.
Oh, I hate Karen. Okay. Of course, you guys know to find me on Twitter at CalvinPhilPod with 2 T's. If you haven't already subscribed here, please do so. We're gonna come back with more videos. We're gonna try to do movie reviews on other movies outside of superhero movies.
Let's do that.
Our schedule's all screwed up to where we can get the time to even do reviews.
Well, why don't we set out maybe ask people that watch the reviews what movies you think we should go see and review?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do a poll on Twitter. Yeah.
All right.
I'll do a poll on Twitter. But if you already subscribed, please do so. Like this video,
hit that thumbs up button. Don't ask me to see no Harley Quinn movie.
Suicide Squad 2. It might get you blocked. One of them. Suicide Squad might get you blocked. So if you ask me to watch that shit, I don't even know if I want to watch Captain Marvel. Just to bring up movies.
I think Creed 2 is on the review list.
Ooh, that's gonna be dope. I'll definitely probably go see that. Anything coming out soon?
Aquaman in December, but that's a superhero movie. Yeah,
Creed 2 is November. I don't know.
Because Halloween's already kind of old.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's pushed back their movies basically.
Yeah, I had to look at a movie list to see if it's something I'm interested in, and then I'll ask you guys. But like this video, hit that piece. We're out.